Imagine a world where another you exists, not a long-lost twin, but a deliberate genetic replica. What would it mean for our society, for our very understanding of what it means to be human, if we could duplicate ourselves? Would this technology herald a new age of medical miracles, or would it open a Pandora's box of ethical nightmares and existential crises we are simply not prepared to face? Are we talking about creating spare parts or sentient beings with their own thoughts, feelings, and destinies? How would we navigate the labyrinthine moral questions that would inevitably arise? Would a clone be a person, an echo, or something else entirely? In this video, we're going to embark on a journey to explore the multifaceted, mind-bending implications of human replication. By the end, you'll have a clearer understanding of the science, the stakes, and the sheer cosmic audacity of the question. What if we could clone ourselves? Stay with us, because the reflection in this mirror is more complex than you can imagine. When we first utter the words human cloning, we step into an ethical minefield, a landscape fraught with profound questions that touch the very core of our humanity. The immediate, visceral reaction for many is one of unease, a sense that we might be treading on sacred ground, perhaps even playing God. If a human being is cloned, is that clone a person in the fullest sense of the word? Would they possess the same inalienable rights as any other human? We must ensure that any discussion of cloning starts with the premise that a cloned human is a human being, deserving of dignity, respect, and all associated rights. It's a conversation about what it means to be human, the value we place on individuality, the responsibilities we have to one another, and the limits, if any, we should place on scientific ambition. Now, let's shift our cosmic perspective. While ethical shadows loom, human cloning technology offers hope, especially in medicine. Imagine eradicating genetic diseases before they manifest. Therapeutic cloning could revolutionize treatment. Stem cells can become any cell type, repairing tissues without immune rejection. This is a game changer. Conditions like Parkinson's and diabetes could be reversed. Imagine growing a new organ in a lab. This isn't about cloning humans for parts, it's about therapeutic applications, focusing on cells and tissues. This could save countless lives and transform medicine. The universe has gifted us with intelligence. It's our challenge to use it wisely for the betterment of all. Let's venture now into the deeply personal, the psychological, the very essence of what makes you, well, if a clone of you were to exist, a being sharing your exact genetic code, would they you? They might look like you, sound like you, perhaps even share certain innate behavioral tendencies, but would they have your memories, your personality, your consciousness? The overwhelming scientific consensus is no. Memories are not stored in our DNA, they are encoded in the intricate connections between neurons. Imagine your clone growing up in a different environment, with different parents, friends, and experiences. They would develop their own set of memories, their own perspectives, their own unique personality. They would be an individual, not a mere carbon copy of your soul. Now let's put on our legislative hats and step into the courtroom of the future. The emergence of human cloning wouldn't just challenge our ethics and psychology, it would throw our entire legal system into a state of profound perplexity. Our laws, meticulously crafted over centuries, are built upon assumptions about human reproduction, identity, and kinship that cloning would shatter. How would we even begin to define a clone in legal terms? The first and most fundamental legal challenge would be establishing the legal status and rights of cloned individuals. Would they be recognized as full citizens with all attendant rights and protections from the moment of their creation? This seems like a straightforward yes from a moral standpoint, but legal systems often lag behind scientific advancements. We would need explicit legislation affirming their personhood, ensuring they cannot be treated as property, commodities, or second-class citizens. Consider inheritance laws. If a wealthy individual clones themselves, does the clone have a claim to their estate? Are they an heir in the same way a naturally conceived child would be? What if the original creates multiple clones? How would parentage be defined? Is the original the parent? Or if the clone was gestated by a surrogate who holds parental rights and responsibilities, the DNA donor, the surrogate, the individual who commissioned the clone. Our current family law frameworks are simply not equipped for these scenarios. Then there are the intellectual property implications, as bizarre as that sounds. Could a person claim a patent or copyright on their own cloned genetic code? If a clone possesses unique talents or abilities derived from their genetics, who benefits from the commercial exploitation of those traits? These questions might seem far-fetched, but the intersection of biotechnology and intellectual property law is already a complex and contentious area. Cloning would add an entirely new dimension of human-related inventions. Ultimately, the legal system would need to adapt and evolve significantly to accommodate the reality of human clones. So, after navigating the ethical mazes, medical marvels, identity crises, and legal quandaries, we arrive at a pivotal question. Is human cloning even technologically feasible? Or is it destined to remain in the realm of science fiction, a fascinating thought experiment, but an impractical reality? Let's look at the current state of the science and the hurdles that still stand in our way. The basic technique for cloning, known as somatic cell nuclear transfer, SCNT, is well established in animal cloning. You might remember Dolly the sheep, cloned back in 1996. ECNT involves taking an egg cell, removing its nucleus, which contains the DNA, and replacing it with the nucleus from a somatic cell, a regular body cell of the animal, to be cloned. This reconstructed egg, now containing the donor's DNA, is then stimulated to divide and develop into an embryo, which can be implanted into a surrogate mother. While Dolly was a landmark achievement, the process was, and still is, remarkably inefficient and prone to errors. Many cloned animal embryos fail to develop properly, and those that do survive often suffer from health problems and premature aging, a phenomenon sometimes referred to as large offspring syndrome or other developmental abnormalities. The reasons for these issues are complex, often related to incomplete reprogramming of the donor somatic cell DNA back to an embryonic state. Human cells have proven to be even more challenging to clone than those of other mammals. Early attempts to clone human embryos for therapeutic purposes, to create embryonic stem cell lines, faced significant technical difficulties. The proteins essential for cell division in human eggs are located very close to the nucleus, making it difficult to remove the nucleus, without also removing these critical components, leading to abnormal development. However, significant progress has been made. In 2013, researchers successfully used SCNT to create human embryonic stem cells, a breakthrough that revitalized the field of therapeutic cloning. They refined the techniques, finding ways to overcome some of the earlier obstacles. This demonstrated that, at least for the purpose of creating embryos for research, human SCNT is possible. But creating a viable, healthy, full-term human clone is an entirely different and vastly more complex proposition. So, we've journeyed through the astonishing, perplexing, and at times unsettling landscape of human cloning. We've grappled with the profound ethical dilemmas, marveled at the potential medical breakthroughs that could redefine healing, pondered the deep questions of identity and what it means to be an individual, untangled the legal knots that would inevitably arise, and assessed the current technological frontiers. It's clear that human cloning isn't just a scientific endeavor, it's a societal one, forcing us to confront our deepest values and our vision for the future of humanity. The power to replicate ourselves, even if still largely theoretical, for full human beings, carries an immense weight of responsibility. As we continue to unlock the secrets of biology, we must proceed with caution, wisdom, and a profound respect for the dignity of any life, however created. The conversation about cloning is a conversation about who we are and who we want to become. What are your thoughts on this complex topic? Where do you think the lines should be drawn? I urge you to share your perspectives in the comments below. Let's continue this vital discussion. Keep looking up and keep questioning. And keep